This narrative that has always been pushed that Black South Africans are very xenophobic towards other Africans. And it's always other Africans as an entire continent. The agenda being pushed out and the lies being pushed out is South Africans are very xenophobic towards all other Africans. But they never tell you where this chaos started.
A lot of South Africans don't like to be called out on this, but xenophobia is something that you're too comfortable with.
There's a strong sentiment that there's a lot of xenophobia in South Africa. So what was your experience being in Joburg there?
Zero.
There's a strong sentiment that there's a lot of xenophobia in South Africa. So what was your experience being in Joburg there?
Zero. Of course, I think that the media will tend to
but it's not just white media. I think this has been coming from other African nationalities living in South Africa,
yeah.
sharing their experiences, and the news spreads. It goes to the WhatsApp group chats, and all of a sudden there's this basic perception of South Africans as being xenophobic, anti-African. They don't want foreigners there.
Yeah.
So you going there,
I didn't experience one ounce of that. Yeah. In fact, they would I don't look South African, but there was a couple times where someone would come start speaking to me in Venda.
Wow.
Or Zulu or something, just at a restaurant or something. And I was like, okay, cool. But then when they would figure out I'm not South African, they didn't treat me any different.
That's really good to hear.
Yeah. So of course, I empathize with those who have experienced xenophobia, but I personally didn't experience that in South Africa. And like I said, once I got to Joburg, life just started happening.
So let's go back to the topic of xenophobia in South Africa for a bit. And I'm just starting to realize, yes, shocker, I am just realizing that we've been lied to. Once again, like every other thing, we have been lied to. There's this narrative that has always been pushed that Black South Africans are very xenophobic towards other Africans. And it's always other Africans as an entire continent. The agenda being pushed out and the lies being pushed out is South Africans are very xenophobic towards all other Africans. But they never tell you where this chaos started. It's always, they're jealous of other Africans going to their country and making money. They are jealous. Instead of doing the same businesses and competing, they are just worshipping the white people. Those are the things that make it to the media. It's not me. I grew up seeing it. I grew up discussing it, thinking Black South Africans were xenophobic. Until recently, when I saw videos of South Africans throwing away bad food, expired food that was being sold by foreigners in their country, and it led to deaths. And I was like, wait a damn minute. So you're telling me this whole time we're being told that South Africans are not good and they hate other Africans and they are literally worshipping the white people. That's why they're not, instead of kicking out the white people, they want to kick out the black people. When that's actually not true. These illegal migrants, illegal immigrants in their country are literally doing harm. And somehow South Africans, the Black South Africans, are supposed to be chill about it, because when they talk, they're xenophobic. No. So why is it that there's this false narrative that has been spread for years? And I used to think that even when I was in high school, when the first major incident of xenophobia happened and the news was showing South Africans saying every African needs to go back to their country. And it was like, damn, what did we do? Until TikTok, when I realized they have a specific list of countries in Africa that they do not want in their country because of their misbehavior. Very valid reasons, actually. It is Zimbabwe, it is Nigeria, and it is Somali. Let's be honest, Nigeria is an issue with every single country. Majority of the countries in the world have an issue with Nigeria, so that's valid. Somali, we Kenyans had an issue with Somali just a few months ago. I don't know about Zim because we've not interacted with them. And it's just like, so why are the media outlets not painting the actual picture?
A lot of South Africans don't like to be called out on this, but xenophobia is something that you're too comfortable with. You pass derogatory comments and jokes about certain groups of people and nationalities and think that it's okay. You will even go as far as being defensive and saying they deserve it because they also pass derogatory comments about South Africans or say things of a similar nature without realizing that the power dynamics are completely different. You, as a South African, can exercise a level of power that someone of a different nationality who's a foreigner in this country cannot. For example, if you decide in a working space that a specific individual of a particular nationality or this foreigner, and I don't even like to use the word foreigner, but let's just use it for ease of explanation, is not deserving of a position based on their nationality, you can exercise that power, but vice versa, they wouldn't be able to.
And how easily were you accepted in your first day?
If I can tell you, I'm the most loved guy that sings Shona in South Africa.
Yeah.
To the extent that you can go to my page and talk nonsense, they'll fight for me.
Yeah.
They don't want they don't want anything to do with me.
So what's your secret? Because you know there's this whole xenophobia thing with South Africans, Zimbabweans, and so on. How do you maneuver that?
I feel like xenophobia is overrated. There's I think also as us as Zimbabweans who are involved in those xenophobia, because there's a time that you find that people are marching to say we don't want foreigners, and you find that in that group there's Ndebeles.
How does that even make sense?
Yo.
I'm telling you, there's Ndebeles there. You find that they're from here, but they've been for a long time staying in SA. I've stayed mostly with South Africans. They're not as violent as what people think they are. I'm in this East State where I stay, it's only South African. They even come to say, Brown, we are cooking chicken. Do you want chicken today? No ways.
But are you not talking from a perspective where probably you now live in uptown? You now live uptown, right?
Let's be honest.
Look, if we take it to Soweto or Yeovil or
I'm always in Soweto.
no, but what I'm saying is you are unique, you understand, because they've accepted you. And I don't know whether it's because they love your music, they love what you're doing, but the issue of xenophobia is real and it's there for a lot of Zimbabweans.
No, let's be honest. South Africa don't owe us anything. For us staying there for a while, it means they have good heart. Am I lying?
So what is your take on ZEP, the Zimbabwe exemption?
I think
exemption
it's
permits, and now they want to stop. They want to bring our people back.
I feel like also, remember when you go to a certain country, you need to behave yourself. You can't go to I'm being honest. I'm being honest. Let's be honest. Mm-hmm. If we go to a certain country, you need to behave. Let's not be involved in robberies. Like those things, it frustrates me to find that there was one of my brother, and you find it's on TV. One of my brothers there. Like, we are there for a reason of like we need to make our life better, but not to go there and want to show them that we can do this and this and that. And you know what? It's gonna cause other people to. Everyone's gonna paint everyone that is from Zim that is a bad person. Not everyone from Zim is a bad person. Yeah. Not everyone from Zim is a criminal. Mm-hmm. But those ones who does things wrong, they're the ones that paint as bad people.
But it is only in South Africa where when locals here want illegal, undocumented people gone, it's the only place on the African continent where it's called xenophobia. Because they were saying it happens in many countries. In Nigeria, they deport.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
In Ghana, they deport. In other places, they actually send buses. You shouldn't be here. Nowhere in the media, anywhere in the world is it called xenophobia, except for when it's here. Which almost means there's an agenda set somewhere by someone.
South Africa is such a unique place in that regard.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of stuff that gets like thrown on us that's just like, I don't know, we kind of get boxed into this is an African country.
Yeah.
Because we're in Africa.
We must be the most hospitable and the most liberal.
Yes.
You hear Zimbabweans.
Those liberal values seem to be Those the ones, when those ones come in, shit gets a bit.
It's always hypocritical because you get labeled xenophobic when Zimbabweans. I was going to say I've got friends that are Zimbabwean. When Zimbabweans tell you that what you're saying is wrong and inappropriate, and I'm like, where you come from? You're not allowed to go into Zim without documentation.
Spot
You
on.
can't come fucking tell us that we must do the right thing when you know where you come from. You guys don't allow Masimba. The NGO, house them. It's like, okay, lady, white lady from wherever, take them
White
to your
lady
home.
from
No,
Houghton. Yeah.
no, I can't. I don't. Why me?
I don't have the space.
I feel like there needs to be more money put into us discussing xenophobia and its implication in South Africa. Like, put it on Soul Buddies or whatever shows, or Generations, whatever shows are still on today. Is Generations still on? I can't remember. Like, put it in the storylines, because we can't be xenophobic as South Africans, as one of the biggest and most forefront like countries of Africa. We cannot hate Africans. It just doesn't work that way. It's also just bizarre and weird. We're deep in Middle Eastern politics, fighting for people's justice, but we can't even see the humanity in black people that look literally like us. Also, the minute you step foot out of South Africa into the rest of the world, you will find that South Africans are a tiny majority. Black South Africans, we are just not anywhere. There's not enough of us anywhere, and we end up having to befriend and have partnerships and associations with black people who have lived abroad for years. Nigerians, Zimbabweans, etc. These people are people in our community. So, like, we cannot alienate people that we need in the context of the world. We don't live in the world by ourselves. We don't make decisions that impact the globe by ourselves. We have to be coalitions, we have to be in groups, and we need other people, other Africans, other people who have the same issues as us to be on our side. Like, I don't know, maybe it's a tough thing to understand and to conceptualize when it's not in your face, but like, that's how the world works. We have to actually work as a unit. Otherwise, we're quite an irrelevant country in the context of the world. We don't have that many people. We don't have that much money. Okay? Our industries aren't that big. We need the people that are around us to strengthen our case. I'm just saying.
Whenever South Africans are crying out legitimately and when you criticize them, I mean, there's been a Krugerstop case where women were raped and then you keep quiet and you're going to tell people that they're xenophobic. They must, keep quiet because one day they must work for foreigners. You cannot insult South Africans at regular intervals, And I believe that they're decampaigning themselves.
They do, but a lot of the xenophobia, and it's not justifiable, but a lot of the xenophobia is economically related because what happens is you live in South Africa.
Right.
He lives in Namibia, hypothetically.
Right. It's the classes you mean?
No, stay with me.
Yeah.
So you are boycotting your job because y'all want higher pay. So they come to Namibia and tell you, get me 100 Namibians, come to South Africa, we need y'all to break this protest. You hungry. You got kids to feed, so guess what you do? You come across national lines and you break the South African protest. Now you just gave birth to that xenophobia. Why would you bring your black ass to my country and sabotage my fight for better pay? You see that? Okay. So a lot of the xenophobia in Africa is economically related. It's the white man, again, putting black people against black people. It's the same thing they do over here with us. It's no different.